Hello and welcome to another Diablo 2 video. I am Lemuel24 and today I'm going to discuss the bosses of Diablo 2. Diablo 2 is a 20-year-old game, and even though the graphics may be outdated, it is still packed full of quality design and lore. After all, there is still a large and engaged fanbase 2 decades after release. Speedruns and magic finding are the most popular ways to play the game, and often this leads to players glossing over the detail on show in this GOAT of the gaming world. I've compiled a list of 22 bosses from Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction, and I'll be ranking them from worst to best. To help me sort the demonic and undead hordes into order, I have come up with a scoring system. All bosses will be given a score of 1 to 10. This is for visual design, lore, arena, and fight quality. The total score will dictate where they stand in the ranking. I have decided to split this into 2 videos, and today I am covering the 11 worst bosses in Diablo 2. So, stay a while and listen. Here's boss number 22. Propping up the table, we have the little brother of Big Bad Blacksmith, Hephasto. It is the Smith. Residing in the forgettable barracks and guarding the pretty pointless Herodric Malice, the Smith waits to smash unwitting noobs with his one-handed hammer. The Smith can move fast for a big guy and expectedly packs a punch, but truth be told, he's unlikely to cause players to press escape to continue. He gets a couple of points in lore for providing arms to the local demons, but realistically, he deserves his place at bottom of the pile. Next up, we find ourselves in the frozen river and up against a frozen abyss by the name of Frozenstein. Points for a Mary Shelley inspired name and a cast on death ice nova that can end the fight for all parties. This big boy is let down by a generic design and no real backstory. From one big boy to another, it's Diablo 1 OG Blacksmith, Griswold. The Forger's tale of dismay comes to a regrettable end in Diablo 2 as the undead Metal Masher is finally put to rest by our band of heroes. We will forever remember Grizzy and a favourable light for helping us through the first instalment of the game. But we will wish we could forget the heavy-handed dope that slowly wanders around the burning ruins of Tristram. To be honest, the big man, or zombie, would have found himself bottom of the list if not for the rather enjoyable trip back to Tristram Town. Limb Chopper Radiment is up next, and I will say that despite him being so low on the ranking, I've always enjoyed Act 2's first quest. A nice bit of backstory and a new style dark dungeon to explore doesn't save Radiment from a generic reskin and non-existent killing power. Bathing in the blood of virgins may have rejuvenating powers, but it doesn't hold much sway with this ranking list. The long walk to the Countess ends in mild disappointment, as you eventually are confronted with a group of rogue-style enemies. A firewall ability and the chance of being surrounded add a tiny bit of spice to this fight. Although the Countess does have a backstory, it is of no real significance to the journey your character is on. I do love me some runes though. Next up is the fallen angel, Isuel, and I cannot stress how much I dislike this boss. An absolute bullet sponge who offers very little offence, sitting in the middle of an area full of lightning spunking souls. Just thinking about it makes my Shaco twitch. However, his story is pretty cool and he does give us 2 skill points. Lest we forget. Shank the Overseer is the first hurdle for the final act of the game. The long trek to his platform works well to set up this fight, especially as you see him completely surrounded by his minions. The fight is way too easy, but holds significance for the game's story, as this is the first strike back against the devouring hordes of Baal's minions. You calmly stroll through Anya's freshly opened portal to find yourself surrounded by the rotten corpses of long dead warriors. You climb the stairs and are immediately set upon by hard-hitting skeletal zombies, in the middle of which stands Pindell Skin. I love this boss and I really love the setting of the fight. Pindell is let down by the lack of backstory and pretty generic skin, but he sure can hit hard if you're not careful. Easter egg royalty here as Big Daddy Bovine, the Cow King, enters at number 14. I don't have much to say about the king other than thank you for the glorious milk. I gave this entry 5s across the board, which left him tied with the next entry, but I chose to place him lower due to the annoying moo sounds. Moo. 5 bosses in one this time around. It's the Bale Waves and the Throne of Destruction. Representing each of the 5 acts means pretty generic monsters, and there doesn't seem to be much lore surrounding the bosses. But the wave style flow to the fight is fresh and exciting, and there's plenty of opportunities to get yourself in trouble. Lister's team of minions can overpower with stun and knockback, and wave 3 hydras are absolutely relentless. The Chaos Sanctuary is one of the coolest areas in Diablo 2, and the process of opening the seals offers a new dynamic to the game. Similar to the Bale Waves, the bosses themselves don't have any backstory, but Decease and Infector of Souls have the potential to kill even the best geared characters. This deadly trio unquestionably deserve their place at number 11 on this list. Well guys, that's the halfway point of my Diablo 2 boss ranking. I'll be uploading the top 11 in 2 weeks time, so make sure you subscribe to the channel to receive a notification. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button and consider sharing the video with your D2 friends. Let me know in the comments if you think any of the placements are controversial, and let me know your predictions for the top spot. Once again, this is the Mule 24. Cheers and goodbye.